Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Our Voice 360, Our Perspectives, Our Ways. I'm one half of the host and crew, Chad Bumgarner, and I have with me my right-hand man, Pete Hunt.
What's good, people?
Hey, Pete, let's go ahead and get into it, man.
Hey, as always, our show is brought to you by CDB Consulting. Great leadership equals great results. How are you leading?
And also, guys, if you have a particular topic that you want us to talk about, if you want to hear our insight on it, or if you've got some ideas to help us, enhance our podcast and make it better for your listening and viewing pleasure, please do not hesitate to contact us at our email address at ourvoice360@gmail.com. That's ourvoice360@gmail.com. And also, folks, if you are watching this and viewing this, especially on YouTube, could you please hit like, subscribe, and share these videos with friends and family and coworkers and whoever else that you think may be interested in this. Our goal is to get to 100 subscribers by the end of this year. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, please, and thank you. We appreciate it. All right. Today's topics are really, really, really good. One is repeating the past, but we still need to bring it to your attention. So for all you homeowners or not homeowners, but people who are looking to buy, please do not sleep on this. They are still doing this today. 20 years later, they're still doing it. Redlining. A Florida bank settles charges that it avoided mortgages in Black and Latino neighborhoods for $9 million. The bank is named Ameris, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Ameris out of it. Ameris Bank. I think they're located out of Atlanta, Georgia here. And so that's the first topic. The second one we're talking about is a really good one for my Black and brown brothers and sisters. It deals with HBUs are behind the effort to study the genetic variants that affect Black people. Organizers say there's a clear need for the project, pointing to research showing less than 2% of genetic information being studied today comes from people of African ancestry. This comes in play when it talks about medicines and remedies to help people of our culture, of our communities, pertaining specifically to us, like Pete, we talked offline, like diabetes, hypertension, yeah, all the stuff that high blood pressure, heart disease, things that really take out our community. We need more research on us so we can find the tools and the medicines that we can take to help us live longer and healthier lives. So that's the other topic we're going to jump on to. So please tune in for that. All right. So, Pete, let's get it started. So like I said before, the Ameris Bank, the Justice Department has secured a $9 million settlement with Ameris Bank, AMERIS, Ameris Bank, over allegations that it avoided underwriting mortgages in predominantly Black and Latino communities in Jacksonville, Florida, and discouraged people there from getting home loans. The bank denied violating fair lending laws and said it wanted to avoid litigation by agreeing to the deal, which does not include civil monetary penalties. Now, as you know, this is the latest settlement over a practice known as redlining. This happened to Bank of America years ago in the news. I remember it well down here in Atlanta. They got their hands slapped for the same thing. So this is still an ongoing issue that they are specifically targeting Black and brown communities by not allowing them to get the funding or loans, home loans, if you will.
Right.
So even though they claim no wrongdoing, like I said, Pete, off air, they wanted to go ahead and settle. Like we still weren't going to hear about this in the news and in the newspapers. I mean, this is blatant racism all over again. And this is the thing that now I can't think of the brother's name. You told me about him last week. We were off air. You said he debated Malcolm X, the book writer. I am not your Negro. James Baldwin.
Yes, sir.
One of his famous quotes is said, "To be Black in America is to be," and I'm paraphrasing. Don't crucify me out there. To be Black in America is to be angry and outrageous every single day.
Right.
And I completely agree. It's always something.
It's always something.
It's always something that's whether overtly or subtly pit against us to fail, whether it's financially, whether it's spiritually, whether it's medically. Yeah, I'm gonna say health wise. There's always something in place to keep us one or two steps behind, and in some kind of situation where we need another entity or another people to help us out. And it's sickening, man.
It's what's the song? I can't remember the song, but in the 80s, it wasn't. I think it was the Cars. What's the Cars? Same as it ever was. You know,
okay.
little part in the little song. It's the same as it ever was. It's the same thing that's been going on. It seems like forever when it comes to our people. When it comes to our people, I mean, just the systematic ways to keep our people behind. It's amazing. And Chad, it just further stamps how important we are in this not only this community, in this world. That a group of people or multiple groups of people would take this so much effort and time to stop our people from succeeding. It's amazing to me.
Not only succeeding, Pete, but being able to build and acquire wealth through real estate. That's one of the biggest ways here in the United States that you can acquire wealth is real estate and home ownership. And this bank specifically focused on mostly white areas of Jacksonville, while other banks approved 3 times the rate of loans that Ameris did. And then on top of that, Ameris didn't even bother to put a bank in any of our communities in the Jacksonville area.
Yeah, and also in the article that we're discussing, I think it was over a 6-year period where they didn't even take what do you talk? What's the word I'm looking for? The loan documents, the documents to even apply for loans. The applications.
Application. They wouldn't even take that.
Yeah. They wouldn't for the 6-year period. They didn't even take applications from Black people. So I mean, this was something that was deeply entrenched into this financial institution. That we're not going to lend any monies to Black people or Hispanic people. We're not lending any of our money to those 2 groups of people, and it was overt. And it's just again, Chad, it just boggles my mind that institutions such as this they just go out of their way, even if you're qualified, if you're qualified to purchase a home or buy a home, they still won't give you. They still won't loan you the money.
And
it's crazy.
The Attorney General, he said it best. He summed it up like many of us would, if not better. And the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, said that when families can't access credit to achieve home ownership, they lose an opportunity to share in the country's prosperity.
Right.
And I agree. Right. Home ownership has been one of the most effective ways that, like I said, that we build wealth in the country.
Right.
And they are still trying to find ways. Well, not find ways. They're still using old tactics to keep us from gaining any kind of wealth in any aspect. And even if you look at the places that have been redlined today, which is in a lot of our communities, Black and brown communities, that land, those buildings, those homes, whatever's there, is not worth anything.
Nothing.
It's not worth anything.
Nothing. I mean, they get you on the front end by saying, okay, we're not going to loan you the money to purchase a home. And then they get you on the back end by saying, because you do own this home in this specific area, it's not worth anything. So so as a people, what do we do? I mean, what do we do? Because you won't give us the money to buy homes. But when you do give us the money to buy homes, you say the home and the property
that it sits on ain't worth what you pay for.
So what are we doing? I mean,
but then you have certain people or certain sects of people, not SEX, SECTS, sects of people who have this mentality of, well, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps like I did. Well, if you don't have any boots to begin with, how can you pull the straps up?
There you go. When you're walking around in bare feet. And the old folks say stocking feet. Walking around in stocking feet.
Like I said before, there are plenty of white folks out there that say, you better be glad that Black folks are not angry and want revenge. We just want equality and fairness.
We just want equality. That's all.
And even for that, it is a struggle.
Right.
Even that alone is a threat for some reason. to a lot of powers that be. Fairness and equality is a threat.
Can we start on an equal playing field?
Even though black people in America make up what 12 to 14%, and I may be generous on that.
Yeah. Today, 2023. Yeah, that might be awful generous. Yeah.
So I don't understand how and where the threat. I don't know. I'm speechless.
Again, it's just like I said earlier. It's crazy to me that as a people, the people who built this country. Let's be real. Let's be real and let's be honest. The people, on the backs of this country is built on the back of our people,
and the blood,
and the sweat, and the tears, and all the Negro spirituals, and all of that.
Yes.
But we can't get a loan for a home or a loan for a car when we built this country. That just lets you know that as a people, we're already 10 steps behind. And then we can't access the monies or the funds to even try to catch up. It's sad. It's a sad situation, but I mean that's what we've endured for hundreds of years.
That's true. And to me, and I just told you this before we got on air, to me, the sad part about this is now you want to invest $7.5 million in a loan subsidy. You was in Ameris Bank because their hand got caught in the cookie jar. They didn't want to go to trial and risk, public humiliation. So they wanted to settle. You still risking humiliation. But because your hand got caught in the cookie jar, number one, your CEO came out and still vehemently declined or said that, we did nothing wrong, but we want to settle. I mean, that has guilt written all over it. But I say that to say, so now they're going to invest the $7.5 million in a loan subsidy fund made available to people in the minority neighborhoods under the settlement, and spend a total of $1.5 million on an outreach and community partnerships, as well as open a new branch in those neighborhoods, along with other requirements as part of the settlement. You don't want our money, but because you got called on it by the highest power, the Attorney General's office, now you're looking at it like, okay, everybody knows what we tried to do. We've been caught. No, we didn't do this. You're wrong. We're not operating like that, but we're going to go ahead and put a bank in their neighborhoods, and we're going to do this subsidy, and we're going to make this money available, to the minority neighborhoods, and we're going to do these outreach community programs. And I'm like, to me, that's like when you leave a job and put in your notice. And they come back and say, well, hey, let's work this out. What if we give you a bump in raise, give you a promotion, another week of vacation? Now, I don't know about y'all, but to me, that's a slap in the face. That's an insult.
Exactly.
Because I could have had this the whole time.
And that's exactly what this is. This is exactly what this is. This company, this institution is worth roughly $25 billion. What's $9 million? What's $9 million? What is that going to do? In all honesty, it's so disrespectful, Chad.
It is.
It's disrespectful.
It really is. It's a slap in the face.
It's a slap in the face, and they basically walk away scot free. Oh, we'll just throw a little $9 million at it,
And the important thing to them is they weren't convicted.
Exactly.
They didn't go to trial, and that's what they wanted.
And that's why they settled. Please don't let the smooth talk fool you.
Please.
They settled because they didn't want to find discovery. See, because if you go to trial, there's going to be discovery. Then you're going to be getting in folks' emails, and text messages, and all this other types of communication. So let's go ahead and settle this, so we don't have to go to discovery, go to a trial, and they discover things that that's even worse.
So now, as the CEO, if I'm being interviewed and this gets brought up, that was alleged. That was never proven in the court of law. You cannot prove that. That was alleged.
Exactly.
And that's what they're going to hang their hat on.
Yeah. So it's smart for them to settle because, again, because of discovery. You have to turn over all your information. So what's the best route? We're going to say we're innocent, but we're going to settle because, we really don't want y'all to know what's really going on behind closed doors and behind the scenes.
That's it. That's exactly what it is.
Yep.
And that's what they're going to hang their hat on. You don't know that that was alleged. That has never been proven. But then when you ask them about it, I'm pretty sure they have a good PR. They know how to dance around. You know what I'm saying? Those answers, but it's truly a slap in the face to the community of Jacksonville and other communities, because I'm pretty sure, like you said with Discovery, they'll probably find out that they did it to some other communities elsewhere. So
of course, yeah,
this one was the one that just got caught.
I think they're in 8 or 9 states in the South and mid South. Yeah. So so I'm sure Jacksonville is not the only city this has happened to.
No. And also in the article it says a $31 million settlement with Los Angeles-based City National in January was the largest for the department.
Right. So it's a good thing what the DOJ is doing under the leadership of Merrick Garland. They're really going after these financial institutions and trying to alleviate some of these unfair practices, such as redlining and others. Excuse me, when it comes to especially the Black community and other communities.
I agree. Kudos to them for doing their job.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so like I said, people, if you're in the process of buying a home, condo, or property, whatever, pay attention to the lenders that you're dealing with or who refuse to deal with you. Because that could definitely be a red flag as to, redlining, trying to keep you up out of certain areas because they want to keep it pure. They want to keep the quote unquote value of the property up, which I never understood that. So
again, Chad, like we discussed in our previous podcast, you attach Black to anything.
And it's negative. It's bad.
And it's negative.
And it's not even questioned.
Exactly. It's not even questioned. So my Black community, our houses are the same as this white community next to us, just as big, yards just as immaculate. But because it's a Black community, the property value is lower. Okay. Yeah, like I said, attach Black to anything. And I guarantee you negative is gonna come out on the back end. Yep.
All right, folks. Well, we're moving on to our next topic, which is a really interesting one. Very intriguing. Yeah. Pete and I talked about this one off air for a good 20 minutes before we even started this podcast, because it's very informative, but it leaves room for a lot of questions, good and not so good, I guess, but it's great for conversation because it gets you thinking, because we want to look at this from a 360 perspective, not just one view. But if you are late to the podcast, the second topic we're talking about, HBCUs are behind the effort to study the genetic variants that affect Black people. We don't have a lot of scientific research done on us as Black folks, and it is very much needed to target and help minimize and possibly eliminate a lot of health factors that pertain to specifically Black and brown people. People, hypertension, blood pressure, heart disease, all that stuff. And so in this article from NBCnews.com, scientists are setting out to collect genetic material from 500,000 people of African ancestry to create what they believe will be the world's largest database of genomic information from the population. The hope is to build a new reference genome, a template to compare to full sets of DNA from individuals, and better understand genetic variants that affect Black people. It could eventually translate into new medicines and diagnostic tests and help reduce health disparities. Basically what I said in a nutshell 2 minutes ago. So Pete and I got to talking about this, and there's a lot of potential for this. There's a lot of good in this, but my spidey senses went up because this research, although it is good and it is needed for Black and brown communities, let me be clear. This initiative was launched this past Wednesday by the Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee. My tongue is twisted today. Shout out to Meharry, which is an HBCU, as well as Regeneron Genetics Center, AstraZeneca, Novo Nordisk, and Roche, the pharmaceutical companies that are providing the funding for this initiative. But the data will be managed by a nonprofit started by Meharry called the Diaspora Human Genomics Institute. So this initiative, the research, all the data that's being collected will be done and held by the by the Diaspora Human Genomics Institute, a nonprofit that was started by the Meharry Medical College. So they will have and host and keep and be the gatekeepers for that data. Because I know a lot of you out there, my spidey senses are going up too. We're thinking about security, like how are they going to use this data and what they're going to do with these samples when they finish, and whose hands is it going to end up in, and all this stuff. I'm leery about my biological DNA being out there in the world for somebody to manipulate and blah 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 blah. So I wanted to put that out there and let you guys know that Meharry Medical is launching this initiative, and they are in control of it. But it is in full transparency. You should know that it's being funded by several of the big medicine companies. I mentioned them: AstraZeneca, Novo Nordisk, and Roche, and Regeneron Genetics Center. So it's a really good idea. There's less than 2% of genetic information being studied today that comes from people of African ancestry. That hurts us because when certain diagnosis or certain diseases or anything of that matter comes about, it's harder for medicine to be created for us that will truly help us, because they don't have enough data on us. And this was a topic of conversation when COVID hit and everybody was in the uproar about the vaccines. This was kind of a similar conversation. But Pete and I can both agree on this, that this research does need to be done. It does need to be done. Go ahead, Pete. I'm sorry.
And you good, bro. Just just break it down even further, to what a genome is all of the DNA inside of a cell. That's what the genome is. And that's extremely important because of chromosomes and things of that sort that's in our cells. So it's not a genome is not in every cell, but it's in a predominantly in the most of your cells. There's a genome. And for this study, 99, I went to a rabbit hole after this finding this article. And 99.8% of a genome is the same across every human, no matter race, color, whatever the case may be. 99.8% of that genome is the same across every human. It's that 0.2% that scientists are really trying to study, especially in this case. As far as with African Americans or African Americans and Africans as well, black people, the Africans from the actual continent of Africa. This study is going to study that 0.2% to find out for like prediction of diseases or prevention of diseases, or even to diagnose different diseases that's relevant to the Black community,
or help create specific tests. I cannot talk today. Help to create specific tests for Black and brown people and African people, to better diagnose what generally or generically they would probably miss.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And one thing I forgot to add real quick, Pete, is that other historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs and the University of Zambia in Africa, will also be looking to recruit volunteers to donate blood. Now, to be clear, once the blood has been donated, it will be sent to the Regeneron Genetics Center, one of the people who are funding this. But they're only doing the sequencing, and then they send it back to Meharry, and they're doing the genetic sequencing for free. So I just need my folks to understand this whole thing. Meharry is going to control your DNA. They're going to house it. If other entities want that, there's a certain process they got to go through in order to access that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They will host it, but Regeneron, is it Regeneron? Yeah, Regeneron Genetics Center. The blood will initially go to them for sequencing, and then they send it back. So I just wanted to, put that out. But go ahead, Pete.
Yeah. But what's really important, Chad, is that like the 500,000, because they want to get 500,000 samples from people in the from Black people across this country, not only this country but in Africa itself. So it's going to be multiple African universities that'll be involved in this as well, as far as to getting to this 500,000 number. So again, I think it's extremely important. I think me and Chad, you and I both agree how important this is, especially for our people. Indeed. When it comes to our medical health, our human health, as far as Black people are concerned. This is extremely important. And then on the back end, you can also have these questions of, okay, what can this information do in the hands of the wrong people? You see what I'm saying? But I think, and as we were talking about it off air, I think the importance of it on the front end is monumentally outweighs anything that that can be negative on the back end. Because again, if we can, if these people at this university,
Meharry
can actually get to, and these other universities can pinpoint actual diagnoses for different diseases, say the sickle cell trait, that's prominent in the Black community,
that is true.
Like I said, or diabetes or hypertension, or they can even predict, okay, I see this in your genome that X, Y, and Z, you may be a person that may have hypertension, and beat that before it even becomes
an issue. Yeah,
exactly. That's extremely important. That's extreme for our community, and it's just I think it's great on so many levels, and something that should have been done a long time ago. But because it's Black folk, it's like,
I was about to say,
since it's Black people, we're not going to do anything extra for you. We're gonna study other people, but you're gonna less than 2%, Chad.
Less than 2%
of us that we're not. It's.
Well, the thing I like, crazy, Pete, is the fact that this is spearheaded by an HBCU, right, and their medical research center.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And also, just for our listeners and viewers, the samples will be hosted or kept as anonymous. So there will not be a name or address attached to your sample. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to worry about that. But I just like the fact that it's spearheaded by a Black medical institution, and that they will be the main actors, if you will, looking at this information and trying to figure out what kind of tests can we create. So when we go to the doctor,
right,
that we can run these tests and make sure that your blood level's okay, that are you at risk for A, B, and C, and how do we go about treating it? The diagnosis and the treatment are very key.
Right.
And I know that Black folks in Western medicine have never had, there's a history of bad blood, so to speak.
Oh, sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I know a bunch of us that are listening are still not going to be are going to be very apprehensive about this. But I would admonish them to really look at the situation and be like, and just understand that this is a little different than before.
Right.
This is something that is studying us for us to better us.
By us.
By us, yes. By us.
Yeah.
It's a medical. I was about to say it's a medical foo-foo for you, by you, to better you and strengthen you.
Right. But
so I do understand the apprehensiveness about this, but please understand that Meharry Medical Institute they are in the best interest of us. If we really want to have anything medical and positive to help our health and improve our health, I think this is our best shot.
And then by them being able to control everything
The data,
the data that's surrounding this. Nobody can come in and say, you know, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. No, because you don't control it.
Yeah, you don't own this.
You have, If it's a pharmaceutical company that wants this information, there's processes and steps that you're going to have to go through. Excuse me, to get this information.
Mm-hmm.
If big pharma, whoever, the federal government, whoever the case may be, another PWI institution
mm-hmm.
wants to gather this research from these entities. What you have to do, you have to come to these HBCUs now, and you have to go through the process of getting this. That's the biggest thing to me, that not outside of the actual testing.
And I love that because it's going to force them to show their hand when they come and ask for. It's just like a father with his daughter dating. What are your intentions? We need to sit down and have this conversation. What are you trying to do with our data?
Exactly.
How is what you're doing going to potentially help and improve my people's lives and their health?
Right.
You got to make that known to me, and then we're gonna put this in writing. You know what I'm saying? You're not just gonna come in here and just take this and manipulate it and then put stuff out on the news and
then claim it as your own.
Claim it as your own.
you know how that works.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed. Our people have been there and done that about other folk claiming what we've created.
That's true.
So yeah, that's the big, outside of the testing and itself, the ownership of the data and who's controlling the data are our people.
The gatekeepers. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So that's another big thing in this situation.
And the bonus for this initiative is that it's a 10-year initiative. It also involves establishing a grant program to support research and education in genomics and related fields at Meharry, plus broader STEM programs for grade school children in diverse communities. Each of the pharmaceutical companies involved intends to contribute $20 million toward the genetic and educational parts of the effort. So we're getting a twofer. You know what I'm saying? We're getting a chance to really gather and collect data that's going to help our community. And then at the same time, we're being able to educate our kids as far as the STEM program and hopefully make some future doctors that will be interested in keeping our people healthy and prosperous in that aspect.
And then also, Chad, before we get off of this topic and move on with the show, I advise people to not really dig up, but go Google how Meharry was started. How Meharry, Meharry Medical School was started. Very, very interesting story on how it was started. And it's a phenomenal story, and a promise that was made and a promise that was kept. And now I'm just going to leave it at that and let you do your due diligence on finding out how this medical university was started in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It's a very good backstory to how this university was created. This HBCU was created.
I love it. I love it.
Use your Googles.
Speaking of creation, folks, we're going to move into the Black Inventor of the Week.
And nice segue, sir. I like.
Oh yeah. I try to do it when I can, how I can. The Black Inventor of the Week. Her name is Alice H. Parker. Alice H. Parker. And Alice H. Parker was an African-American inventor, famous for her patented system of central heating using natural gas. Oh, thank you, sis. So when you turn on your gas in the fall and in the winter, and it is evenly heating your house safely and effectively, you can thank a sister for that. Alice H. Parker. In the 1920s, using natural gas to power a heating furnace was a revolutionary idea that conserved energy and paved the way for the central heating systems we all have in our homes today. Parker's patented Parker's patent was filed on December 23rd, 1919 for her heating system invention. Her design allowed cool air to be drawn into the furnace, then conveyed through a heat exchanger that delivered warm air through ducts, DUCTS, to individual rooms of the house. The concept of central heating was around before Parker was born, but her design was unique because it used natural gas as its fuel instead of coal or wood that had been previously used. Parker is said to have been inspired by her design because she felt her fireplace was not effective enough warming her home through the cold New Jersey winters. Her invention was convenient because it meant that people did not have to go outside and chop or buy wood. It also decreased the risk of house or building fires that heating units posed by eliminating the need to leave a burning furnace on throughout the night. Although her initial designs were never used, her idea that natural gas and ducts could be used to heat different areas of the house was a major step towards the heating systems that we have today. Now, very little is known about Alice Parker's life. She was born in 1895, grew up in Morristown, New Jersey, and attended classes at the infamous Howard University. The academy was a high school connected to Howard University. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. I read that wrong. Let me go back. She was born in 1895, grew up in Morristown, New Jersey, and attended classes at the Howard University Academy in Washington, D.C. The academy was a high school connected to Howard University. And in 1910, Parker earned a certificate with honors from the academy. I had to redo that, make sure y'all get that right. But Parker's filing a patent was a remarkable milestone, as she was an African-American woman in the early 20th century. Since her filing for a patent preceded both the civil rights movement and the women's liberation movement, which subsequently removed many of the barriers that women of her generation faced. At this time, African-American women had very limited opportunities, and Parker's receiving of a patent for her invention during that time was truly unusual and an outstanding achievement.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Central gas, Alice Parker.
Man, I'm trying to think.
You said it last week. I cannot put my tongue on it.
What?
I can't remember what you said.
Man, our people are great, man. Man, our people are great, man. Good. Come on, man. Stop. Stop. What are we doing? Our people are the backbone of this country. None of this happens without us. You don't have central heat, natural gas. Man,
I ain't got to go outside and chop no wood, because I used to hear that from my father.
I ain't got to shovel no coal.
2 in the morning, I got to go out there and chop wood and bring it into the house and heat the furnace.
No.
Sis said, nah, we're not having
that. We're gonna die. It's too cold in New Jersey. I ain't gonna keep running in and out this house.
We letting the heat out.
You letting the heat out.
Alice H. Parker, folks.
Thank you, Miss Parker.
Yes. Yes, indeed. All right. Now we're gonna go into the Black Author of the Week.
Yeah, the Black Book of the Week.
Oh, the book. Excuse me. The Black Book of the Week. My fault.
Black Book of the Week is Assata. The Assata Shakur autobiography. That is the book of the week this week. I'm not going to delve into it and do too much. If you know about Assata, you know about Assata. If you don't, you need to pick up this book. You need to pick up this book. Very good book. Breaks down, her life and the things that she went through growing up in Black Panther Party and the Black Liberation Army and the other things that's happened in her life. So this week's book of the week is Assata, an autobiography.
Isn't she kin to somebody famous?
No, she's not really kin. It's on. She's the godmother of the legendary Tupac.
Okay.
Yes.
And that was for my younger generation who might be listening. We need to link that, make sure they understand. The part of the lineage of his greatness.
Yeah. Yeah, she played a role in that for sure.
No doubt about that. Assata Shakur, the autobiography, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
I must have. Okay. All right, now we're gonna move into the album. Now, what do we call it? The album of the week, right? Is that the classic? Yeah. The classic of the week.
Album of the week.
The classic album of the week. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna need for you to get out your best cognac. For those of you who indulge in the spirits.
Not the yak.
Yeah. And maybe even a good cigar. Now, I'm not a smoker. Never smoked a day in my life. Okay. But if you are,
I don't do either. I guess I just have to get me some sweet tea or some lemonade. Yeah, get you some. I don't need either one of those. So the spirits or the cigars. So
yeah, get you some sweet tea. Get you some sweet tea. Yeah. You're gonna need this because the classic album of the week is.
Man, put this up. Yeah, put that thing up. If you know, you know. That thing you showing right there, sir.
This right here, ladies and gentlemen, D'Angelo. For those of you who are not watching, they're just listening. It is D'Angelo Brown Sugar. Let me remind you that this came out in 1995. Okay. If you've never heard of this brother, shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
I think, Chad, we all knew where we were when this dropped right here.
Oh, no doubt.
Hell yeah, we all knew where we were when this
dropped. Doubt. Now, the title track, Brown Sugar, is so funny. The brother was so clever with this. Okay? Because when you hear brown sugar, naturally you're thinking, okay, brown sugar, you might be thinking about a beautiful sister. Yeah. And that could be one way to look at it.
A beautiful Nubian goddess. Yeah.
It could also be slang for something else that you might indulge in recreationally on your own time. That you may buy from a pharmaceutical seller out on the street corner.
Come on, Chad, let's be real with it. Come on, man, let's stop it. Like the old folks say, he was talking about reefer.
But his lyrics wrapped it up so cleverly, so you could think either way.
Yeah, you could think either way. Yeah,
you could think either way. He never really did like bluntly just put it out to you like a lot of music does today. He leaves it to the imagination. And I love that about this song. The lyrics were written so cleverly.
Right.
You know what I mean? And why am I putting this up? Because that was the title track. And that was cool.
Yeah.
My favorite track on this album, I can't even say. But if you Google Brown Sugar by D'Angelo, the album, and you look at the name of the titles of the tracks, it is 3 explicatives.
Yeah.
But when you hear the song and you listen to the lyrics, I'm big on lyrics. That's why a lot of music today, I can't knock nobody's hustle. Everybody got to eat. Right. I get it. You know, a lot of gimmicks out there. That's cool. Do you? But I am a lyrics person. And this brother, when he wrote this song, it was so real. The imagery was so vivid. I could just sit there and listen to it and close your eyes and listen to it, what he's saying. And you put yourself in that situation. It's like you there. And it's like, how did he know that I was going to say that? Because that's exactly what I would have said if that would have went down. And I'm not going to give it to you guys. You're going to have to go out and listen to the song, listen to the album. But when you listen to the lyrics of this song, you're going to be like, he right.
Look, he sure is.
He's right.
You're right.
He's right. He's right. It's like you sitting somewhere with your homeboys and y'all talking about a situation. That's exactly how it is. And he paints the picture so vividly.
Yep.
And that's my favorite song on the album. Now, there's some other. The Brown Sugar was dope. I'm not going to take that from him. The whole album was nice. I'm not going to front. The whole album was nice. But the other one that I liked was Cruising. Okay? How he took Smokey Robinson's track and redid it.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Classic, timeless. just like Smokey's was timeless.
Yeah, yeah.
You can play those two back to back, bro. 20 years from now.
Yeah.
20 years from now.
That's what makes it classic. Because you can put it on at. We've discussed this before, Chad. You can put it on in any era. I don't care what the year. I don't care what the era, what decade. When you put the needle to the record, and bro, you can't forget Lady. You can't.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the bass line.
Just the bass line alone. The bass line itself. He just played the bass line. He ain't got to put nothing over it.
Pete, real quick.
Yes,
what are we? Are we millennials? Are we Gen Xers? Which one are we?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Well, listen, folks. I'm 50, so y'all hit me back and let me know what that is. Millennials, Gen X. I don't know which one that is.
I just turned 51 a couple weeks ago, so
okay.
We in the same. Yeah.
So our age, our era. Okay. When you know something is a classic is when you can take an album like this, and your mama got you cleaning the house, and you put that album on, and it just goes. You don't have to fast forward. You don't have to skip a song. You just put the needle down and you get to clean it. That's a good house cleaning record. Not just for house cleaning, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
In our culture, good music, you can clean to.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you can clean to.
Well, and Chad, you really didn't have a choice when we was growing up. Whether it was good or bad, you clean.
But I'm saying good music made it a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kind of gave us a little light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, man, D'Angelo Brown Sugar.
Yes,
that is a classic album that you need if you really enjoy music, especially R&B. Or I guess they classified him as neo soul.
Yeah, at the time, it was neo soul.
At the time, that's when that's when was like at his height, right?
Yeah, like Badu and Jill Scott.
Jill Scott, yeah. What's his name with the one eye? Music Soul Child.
Yeah, Music and those cats. Yeah,
shouts out to Music. That I might have to his debut. Let me stick on D'Angelo.
Yeah. Cause that might come out in a couple of weeks. You never know. You never know with us. You know,
that's true.
You know, we've hit the 60s, we've hit the 70s.
Yeah.
We haven't hit the 80s yet.
You're right, because this was 95. So you're right. We hadn't touched the
80s. And kind of hit the 2000 with the
Baptiste. John Baptiste. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of hit the 2000. So the 2020s, I should say.
Yeah.
And so we might have to find something in the 80s. It's my week next week. So
you can't say 80s without two people. That's Michael Jackson and Prince.
Yes, they define.
Tell me I'm a lie.
They define the era. They define. I mean, starting in the late 70s, they define the era through the 80s. Yeah. But I got one that just popped into my head from the 80s. Yeah, that might be my one next week. So y'all look out for that one for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
And
look, and let me go ahead and forewarn you. It's neither Michael Jackson nor Prince. They come later.
Ooh, he said they come later.
I mean, they have so many. So me and Chad, we might have to take a month to just maybe a couple of months to just do their albums.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because they laid some classics for sure. But yeah, next week's is going to be an 80s R&B album that just popped in my head now. Now, I told Chad this. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. Listeners and viewers, when I'm trying to get the R&B out early, because once I start the hip hop.
Hey y'all, Pete is a hip hop head now. I'm telling you.
Yeah, once I start the hip hop, we may not go back to any other genre of music. So
Pete is a hip hop head. I'm telling y'all.
So next week we're going. Man, it just popped in my head. I got an 80s classic R&B for you. So yeah.
So hip hop, Pete, what you feel about Slum Village?
Oh, love SV.
Okay.
That's Detroit. That's one of Detroit's finest. Yeah. I mean, you can talk. I know a lot of people talk about that other guy from Detroit. That
I don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, Pete. Don't do that.
He's not. He can rap, but
that boy got bars. What you talking about? He top 10. What?
Look,
hey,
we know why.
For y'all who can't see, I love making Pete. I like riling Pete up.
We know why they call him top 10, and it ain't because of his bars.
Pete, now you gotta listen to some of his stuff. He spits now.
I've never said he couldn't rap.
Okay.
I've never said this particular gentleman from Detroit.
Y'all, we took a straight left. I'm sorry, I had to do this.
Yeah. I've never said this specific gentleman from Detroit couldn't rap. I've never said that.
Okay.
I just said he's popular, and he's popular in some parts of our culture, but he's not really a guy that we gonna get in the whip and put on. He's for those other people listen to him. That's why he's so popular.
See, people that talk like y'all be the main ones low key be bumping this stuff. So I don't know. I'm kind of leery with you, Pete, right now.
Don't be leery. I've never ever bumped anything. Not that Detroit rap. Now, it's a lot of Detroit rappers I listen to now. That's just Ty Ferris and Ron's Nazareth, and those dudes of those, Royce the 5'9".
I was about to say Royce, yeah.
Yeah.
Now Dilla was more of a producer though, right?
Yeah, Dilla was the producer.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about Elzhi. To me, who is the best rapper out of Detroit, is Elzhi. But that's just my personal preference. But we not okay, Chad. Let's end the show.
We gonna move on.
I'll get on that tangent about that other guy, and
I ain't mean to ruffle you like that. I like to get Pete going from time to time. We love to discuss that hip hop boy.
Yeah, but yeah.
I might get chewed out, y'all, after we get off this call. How dare you?
Look, we might even get some comments on the social medias and stuff. So
we might
on the YouTube page, but it's all good.
We might. All right,
say
folks,
tomato, I say tomato.
Tomato, yeah, it's all good. We're gonna move on to the Bible verse of the week. It is coming from 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 4. And it says, "For everything God created is good, and nothing is to be rejected if it is received with thanksgiving." So as Christians, we must live a life that is full of gratitude. Okay. As we recognize the inherent goodness in all of God's creation and receiving it with thanksgiving, we're not only enriching our own lives, but also honoring the creator of all things. So for everything God created is good, and nothing is to be rejected if it is received with thanksgiving. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 4. So folks, just be grateful in all things. You know what I'm saying? Be grateful. Not everything he created is good. It's just what we choose to do with it, or what those entities choose to do, make it bad.
Right.
But ain't nothing God made bad. Everything he made is good. It's just how we choose to use it or deal with it. But if we receive everything with thanksgiving and thank God for what he's given us, we good. We all good. It's a simple, to me, it's a simple verse. It may not be for everybody, but for me, it's a simple verse. And I feel like, that was one that could be shared today. So just, meditate on that, pray on it, and let that be what it is.
That's what it is.
I think we're going to wrap things up, man. You got anything else, man?
Oh, man, as always, man, as we say at the end of every show, man, I like to say, first of all, love yourself. You have to love yourself before you can love others, man. After you start loving yourself, love your people, man. Love the ones around you, man. Family members, friends, neighbors, even strangers. Because at some point during our lives, we need love. Everybody needs love.
That's true.
So again, love yourself first. Love others, man, and protect yourselves at all times. Head on a swivel at all times. It's dangerous out here. It's dangerous out here in this world, and it's love and protection, man. That's what you do. That's what it is, and that's the word that I always like to leave you guys with.
And again, I want to reiterate, guys, if you are liking the podcast, you're liking, what we do, how we doing it, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with other people. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, man. We're trying to get to at least 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I believe we can do it, but we need your help. Okay. So I forgot what I was going to say. Well, let me just go ahead and end it. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of Our Voice 360, Our Perspectives, Our Ways. And before I drop, I want to leave you with the infamous quote from Mr. Marcus Garvey. And it reads, "Never forget the intelligence rules the world and ignorance carries the burden. Therefore, remove yourself as far as possible from ignorance and seek as far as possible to be intelligent."
There it is.
Again, thank you for tuning in to Our Voice 360, Our Perspective, Our Ways. Be blessed, be safe, and we are out.
Peace.